I went into June thinking it was going to be a amazing month and a nice start to the summer. It ended up being way more chaotic than I thought. There were some good moments. Overall, this was definitely one of the harder months for me so far this year. So let's just very quickly take a look at how my June went. I forgot that I had this little magnetic clip from Cloth and Paper, so I don't have to scramble to look for the page that I am currently on. I showed this page in the first week of June in my plan with me. I was so excited for this month because Love Island was starting, and my days just got so busy that I wasn't even watching it during the actual time block. So the routine is usually you watch the episode and then you go convene online, right? And it just wasn't happening this year. One thing that like really threw me off was that my car had started acting up. It's been acting up since, I would say, since last year, honestly. And I have, funny enough, been asking ChatGPT, like I would put in all the symptoms of the car and it kept telling me that it was this part right here. And I told my brother, who's a mechanic, and he was like, "Oh, why are you listening to the computer?" Well, turns out it was that part. So essentially, I got it fixed. It was very mentally taxing, but I was happy that that got done. The other thing I was looking forward to this month was my best friend's daughter. She was having her quinceañera. I did the invitation for the party, and funny enough ended up having to rush over same day to do her makeup. So I actually got to use the sticker from Monster Coffee Co. She has some, I think they're limited. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are limited or not, but she has the Sephora and Ulta sticker. So I knew I had to purchase them immediately, having a beauty blog and all. But I was like, do I really want to use them? So I felt like it just ended up fitting perfectly here because I did have to run to Ulta and spend a little bit of a pretty penny. I just added in the little mascara wand. I usually get a lot of questions of like why I don't do makeup like as a side hustle, but I just don't really have the patience. And here in Jersey, you do need a license to do makeup on other people, so I don't want any of those problems. I did get my 5th video posted. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that YouTube is one of my goals for the year. So I was being consistent up until this point, and things just kind of got a little crazy. One thing I remember from the creator Modern Millie, she did say that it's important to listen to your body because you know we can get very tired. So I think that was what was happening. I can always tell when my body starts to feel super heavy, and I try to push through it, but sometimes it's like really hard to push through the fatigue on top of everything else that's going on in the week. One of my highs was that I was gifted the Osmo Pocket 3, which I am filming on today. So we're going to see how that turns out. But it was a late Mother's gift. Definitely wasn't expecting it, but after playing around with it, I am very happy. I have the Action 5, and the main reason that I had purchased the Action 5 was because I am pretty clumsy. I have dropped my Sony camera before and broke the lens. So I know this one won't break. And I'm actually now terrified to break this camera because I've heard so much that the gimbal breaks. We'll see what happens. Sunday, I was trying to plan ahead of time. So I got up in the morning, brain dumped a little bit, none of this happened. So what I ended up doing was just cleaning up this office and minimizing my extended hard drives. And then for this last week of June, I felt like, I don't know, maybe the beginning of the month was trying to prepare me, but this week was a mess. Like, I don't know, my emotions and everything that happened was all over the place. So it was the last day of school, and of course my son got sent home. So all my plans that I had for that day kind of just didn't happen. I also had took Monday off because I needed to help out my grandmother with something, and she completely changed her plans, so that didn't work out. I also had some other family situations that randomly occurred, but I was trying to mentally just push through all of this. So I did end up working a lot on some blog posts, and that just came about because I found two creators on YouTube that started experimenting with Claude. Claude has been a big topic lately, so I gave it a try and I was honestly shocked, amazed, a little scared of the things that it was able to do. So I will probably have to make another video on, I guess, my findings. Coming to the end of the week, I think I just started to realize, like the end of the week and the end of the month, I just started to realize that I just maybe need a mental break. Didn't want to take a huge mental break like I did last year. Literally took the whole year off. So I was thinking, like, let me just ground myself in a different way. So I started to look for iPad games, which I had done last year. I found, I don't remember what that game is called. It's some type of like cozy organizing game. And I finished it, never downloaded another one. But I recently found an Elmwood Trail, which is a mystery game. And I've actually loved it so far. Just the whole interface of the game is really cool. So as you can see, like this month, I didn't really focus on aesthetics because I couldn't. It was just very busy and chaotic. It was a lot of fitting in my goals with the reality of life that was just going on. I think sometimes it's hard to keep pushing forward with content when you get these random curveballs in life, because your goals are a better version of you that you haven't yet reached. So when you get these like curveballs, it kind of just pulls you back when you're trying to go forward. And so overall, I feel like I did a pretty good job at finding things to keep me grounded, keeping level-headed. I definitely didn't lose my cool at all this month, so that's positive. So if you are also having a rough month, I just want to encourage you to like keep pushing. It will pass. So now let's just go into my Notion so I can update what I'm going to do for July, because the way that June ended, that is going to shape my July. I already had plans to start getting things ready because I am traveling in August, but I think another trip is coming out before then. So you might see some content of me preparing for travel. So let's go into my Notion. We can look at June and start to prepare for July. So here's my task database in Notion. This is where I brain dump and then schedule out ideally what I want to get done for the month. So let's take a look at June. I had 2 events and I completed 4 out of the 16 tasks. I'm not really disappointed about that because, as we just saw, my month was very hectic. We have the quinceañera that I went to, and then that one day where I didn't know what happened was actually Father's Day, so that explains why I didn't really get anything done. And if we scroll down to my content calendar here, I got 2 videos posted for June, which I don't know, for some reason I felt like I didn't post anything, but we can give ourselves some grace here. And I also did post 1 blog post that I am excited that I actually got that done. And then I had other videos that were scheduled, but they had to be pushed back. I hope that I can get them done for July. Let's see what happens. So if we go over to my task section, I just grouped them by the areas of life, because this is easier for me to look at this way. And if I don't want to show some categories online, like parental and personal, I can keep them shut. For business, I wanted to complete the Pinterest course, which I think I can mark this as done, because what actually happened was it looked like it was just a repetitive update. So it had like 2025 and then 2026 update. It wasn't anything crazy that was changed in the strategy. So we can mark that at done, and then our task completed actually went up to 5. See, this was done. The home section is where I had the most tasks that I wanted to get done. I have to say that this area was very neglected. This one task in particular has been on here since May, and it's definitely not going to get done during July. So I'm just going to take it off, and I can reschedule at another time if it is still that important to me to get done. Because as you can see here, I am 35 days past due. So let's just remove them. I said I want to create bins for incoming paperwork with folders and tabs for my bedroom. I'm just gonna move this one to July and sort out all extra cords and chargers. I'm gonna mark this as done because I have a nice little bin behind me with all the cords wrapped up. So it's a system that is ongoing. Quality of life, I said I want to call Easy Pass. I'm not doing any in-town local traveling anytime soon. I'm just gonna take this off as well. Okay, and then in relationships, I did get the teacher appreciation gift. They just got like some sticky notes, a erasable pen from Flexon that I love, and a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. And she sent me a message that she really appreciated that. So I felt good because she really deserved it. And then I did get Father's Day gift for hubby. My dad was out of town. It was still a successful holiday. So we're done with June. We actually got 6 tasks done, even though we had started with 15 tasks. And I'm just gonna go ahead and remove some of my parental and personal off camera. We're back at the home screen. Let's click over to July for this month, and you can see I already have 5 tasks in the little bin here. So let's see what else we can add for July. So as I scroll down, this is my brain dump area, and then here I have today's focus. The only reason that it's in today's focus is because it has a do now category, and I've already set a time constraint on the task. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I created a video about how I use the Eisenhower matrix method to categorize and prioritize my tasks, so I know what to focus on first and I don't feel scattered brained when I have free time and I don't know which task to do. So the first task I have in this area is to create a bill and expense list. I have this all already in my financial section. I just need to change the database because I kind of want to see it in a list view with the sum of how much money is going to be coming out of my account like for the remainder of the week. And I specifically want to see this view because now not only do I have a wedding to go to in August, I also probably have another event that I need to plan for. So I have to be very tight with my money for the next 2 months. So we're going to add that to this month, and then it'll just disappear off of here. This task has also been here since May, so I'm just going to remove this actually and remove it from the do now, and I'm going to put it in scheduled since it doesn't seem like something that I'm getting done anytime soon. So now that's clear. Now for my Eisenhower matrix section, before these were toggles and now I just turned them into pages because I didn't feel like I could see all the data that I needed to see. So I put my little note here that says option click so that it can open up in a side view. So now I'm just gonna go through each section and add whatever task I feel like can get done in July, and then we'll just do an overview. I just thought of another way to update this section again. So by August, you might see a whole nother setup in this area, but this is exactly what happens as I continue to use my templates. Like, I just keep creating more and more updates. So for business, I need to add this channel onto my Amazon account. I am already in the Amazon Associates from my blog. So I also want to add this channel so I can give you guys access to the planner supplies that I have purchased for myself. In financial, we just spoke about me having the trip that I need to plan for. At home, I do need to situate this mail problem because I literally have 2 bags of mail. It's really, really bad, the mail situation here. Rental, I can share a little bit because it's not too private this month. So I just had 2 surveys sent home that I need to complete. I hate doing paperwork for school. It's so tedious. I need to create a summer plan for him. That was supposed to be done last month, but thankfully he has summer school. So he is pretty occupied, but I still do want to plan some events, especially for when it ends. And then I also need to call the school nurse about some dietary things that I see in the school lunch that I need changed a little bit for him. And then my last thing in the relationship category is to get my aunt a gift. I didn't get my aunt anything for Mother's Day. I usually do, but I think I was running low on time in May. So I just bought a big cake for everyone, but I do want to do something nice for her. And the gift that I had in mind is actually kind of expensive. So with the planning that I have to get done for traveling, I don't know if this is gonna get done. So I might have to think of a plan B type of gift as I put it here. So if you have an aunt or uncle that you want to celebrate that you don't normally celebrate, Aunt and Uncle's Day is on July 26th. Learn something new. So that's it for my July planning as far as personal day-to-day tasks. So as I go through the month, I just go back and reference this page and see if there's anything that I can get done within the specific week. And then I would mark it off. So that is all for my July reset. I will probably do a separate video on my goals and business tasks because I noticed a lot of you do enjoy that section of my monthly resets, and I did do a lot of research for my blog in June. So if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe